Well, good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning. Oh, and look how so many people come in. I've been talking to Wendy and Melanie for about 20 minutes online, and so that's been fun. And Rebecca has just stopped in. Hello, Rebecca. And Kevin from Lazy Pond Farm just got the package in the mail. He has boys, and I sent them hats. I'm so excited. And Teresa is here. Hello, Teresa. Christy is here. Hello. And Karen is here. I'm going to go back up and because Melanie was here, we were talking about being hacked earlier. And so Melanie is here and Wendy is in here too. Where is she? There she is. So we were talking about snow. We were talking about getting hacked before the live started. And so everybody's saying hello. I always love that. So I don't usually do Friday morning lives, but I thought, I think I'm going to try a morning live. It is cold out here. Oh, Kevin says, LOL, I didn't get a package from you. I sent your package. He's sending me wooden spoon. So a ladle-like thing. But Kevin, maybe you will get yours today because I sent the boys hats that I made. I just thought they would like it when they're out and about doing stuff with you on your property, and they could wear hats if they wanted. So I hope they like them. You know. So I thought, and everybody's just saying hello, so I'm just popping that a little bit. Chrissy says that she's going to take the dogs outside, but as long as they're sleeping, I'm good. And Ginger is here too. Hey girl, how are you? Ginger, I mailed your package yesterday because Ginger had won a fused glass heart. Because on my Wednesday night lives till Valentine's Day, I'm giving away magnets. They're fused glass that I make. But today, we're giving away a hat. You are welcome. I just thought they would think that was fun. And Lisa is in here too. Hello, Lisa. How are ya? But today, we're giving away a hat. It's corduroy. I thought they were so cute. I found them at Hobby Lobby. And so I bought a few of them that I could give away on Friday mornings. I actually have a couple different kind of hats. So that should be fun. And I thought, it's cold outside. It's snowy. We have probably about 5 inches of snow right now. But tonight is supposed to start snowing. It snows all the way through Sunday, Monday. And they said we could have 6 inches. We'll see. You know, it is Wyoming. We're still in Wyoming. Usually we have gone to Arizona way before now. We did go down in October and stayed for a couple weeks. And then we came back so I could have the holidays with grandkids. And now we seem to be stuck because of the weather. And some days we have had good weather here, but down on I-80, which is on the bottom part of Wyoming, it has been closed more times than it's been open, I think, this year. It has been just crazy. And Jake is here. Good morning. Jake, will you tell Ann that I sent her heart yesterday? And maybe the girls will get their package today. And Angie is here. She says, good morning, everyone. I love that mushroom hat. Isn't it fun? And it's corduroy. I just thought it was just cute as can be. So I bought some like that and some other kind of hats to give away on Friday mornings. And, oh, see, people are just saying hi to everybody. Fun, fun, fun. And Julie is in here. She says, whoops, I'm late. Folding laundry. I have to do laundry today too. But it is cold and windy out today. It's actually 21 degrees, but it says with the wind chill, it's -3. I didn't really think it was that cold feeling. But I suppose if you were outside and walking, it would feel pretty cold. So I thought, we should have a cup of tea and we could talk about gardening plans. Let me show you first something I'm growing that I'm taking to Arizona with me. These are, look at some of those roots coming out already. These are castor beans. Now, the plant is poisonous. True. But it's very tropical looking and it's just so beautiful. And it's starting to get, see those little ones? They're different shape than these first leaves. The leaves are much more pointed because these are the first true leaves. I really probably shouldn't touch it. It is poisonous. Everything about it is poisonous, but it's just such a beautiful plant. And then it gets these red balls. They're kind of spiky looking in clusters. And so it's a beautiful plant. And I really like it. Chrissy says, my son just sent me a picture of the snow in central Alabama. Man, it's craziness. Like Wendy says that they have a couple inches. She's in Oklahoma, but her friends have lots more snow. I did see Kansas City the other day got 11 inches of snow. It was like a record for them. Wendy says, I need to figure out where will I start my seedlings this year. My starter greenhouse one, the wind ripped up the house greenhouse plastic. Oh, see, that wind is craziness. You know, my greenhouse, I've always put, well, that greenhouse, I've always put plastic over it. But this year I put bamboo, a little more sustainable. Now, it doesn't let me extend my season as long. But there's ways I can get around it because I can literally put plastic inside or row covers inside and have the lights underneath those to make it a little bit different. So, but I remember different times with greenhouses. One time it was blowing so hard, we were literally inside holding the north side because they were 60 and 70 mile an hour winds. And it was just, I was afraid it was just going to just rip it apart. Seriously, I did. Oh, I would like a geothermal one. Oh, that would be so fantastic. Rebecca says, there was one year I got 14 inches of snow where I live in the middle of Missouri. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. Melanie says it's criminal. That's true. So let's talk about our gardens. How are we starting our seeds? Now there's tools to help you. Like there is a thing online, a company online that's called Seed Time. In fact, I'll type it in. It's called seedtime.us, and they have a free version of it. I mean, you can buy the other version and it does more things. But Seed Time, I started out with the free version and I do have the paid version now, but it breaks it down and it lets you say when you want to plant a seed inside, when you want to plant a seed outside, and it'll pop in when it should start to harvest because you're saying how many days it is from the beginning to the end. Kevin, thanks so much for stopping in. Especially in Wyoming, Sandi, I harvested oranges and lemons, tomatoes, peppers yesterday. Isn't that fantastic? I used to have a lot of fruit trees, citrus trees here in Wyoming. And Joe would take them out in the springtime so they could be outside all summer long, and then he'd bring them back. And we'd have citrus in the wintertime. But now, since we have our little place in Arizona, when we go down there, we'll be harvesting limes and lemons and oranges and mandarin oranges and I'm just so excited about my harvest, actually. So, but if I had a geothermal up here, there's a guy in Nebraska. I have his booklet and CD on growing, and it's a geothermal, and he has been growing citrus for, I don't know, 20, 25 years now. It is amazing. I think so. Yes. You know, I've gone back and forth. How's my banana tree? My banana tree, I actually have a banana tree here too. It has two little pups, two little babies coming up. It hasn't given me fruit, but I only bought that this year. And I have this system with 5-gallon buckets for when we leave that it will give it water while we're gone. Because usually I give my banana trees away. My banana trees down in Arizona have bundles of bananas. They had already started doing the bundles when we were just down there. It takes a long time from the time it starts, when it starts to send that shoot up that makes the bananas, and when you harvest. And I've asked my mom and dad and my friends, are the bananas ready yet? But nobody's picked bananas yet. So, but it has been cooler down there this year, and I think that's probably why they haven't gotten ready. That's the kit I have. I toured the greenhouse in the snow in Nebraska. There were a few things we needed to add to the greenhouse. Yeah, there's a few people up here that have gone through his tour in Nebraska too, and have his kit that they have built. And though I like his actual one better than some of the kits, but I think you can just modify however you want to. It is fun having bananas. They're just such a great tree. And the way I have them, because it's hot in the summertime where I am in Arizona, in Yuma. I mean, 110 for weeks and weeks through the summer. But I have them so in the morning, they get a lot of sun, but then our house shades them all afternoon. And so I think that's what makes them so that they can really prosper. And once it makes the bananas, that bundle of bananas that has anywhere from 60 to 120 bananas on it, that stalk dies. So you just let it kind of die itself back, and then you cut that off, because it will send a lot of nutrients down to what they call a crown. So it's very interesting, and it's very cool. His greenhouse is much larger than the kids. It is. I want more room, so I want to build another. My husband says, oh boy. Yeah, but think of it in the long term. The amount of food you can grow all year round and the types of food you can grow all year round is just mind-blowing, And the ones that I have toured up here, the ones that have bought kits from him, some of them really utilize every single square inch that they have. And other ones, it's very spread out, and it's like, wow, you could just grow so much more in here. But people make their choices, just because I would grow more doesn't make it right or wrong that they choose just to have it very sporadic, and maybe as they have it longer and longer, they'll fill it up more. But it's really interesting. And they run fans, they run dehumidifiers, they do all kinds of stuff in there. But if you haven't seen, I think it's called Greenhouse in the Snow, something like that, out of Nebraska. He's a retired postal guy. It is really fascinating, his videos. So one of the other things I like to do is I like to keep track of my gardens. And so I have notebooks on everything I did for that year. Well, I picked up this off of Amazon. It's by Lynn. No idea how to pronounce her last name. And it is just, it'll have a section. So this is spinach. Gives you information. And then you're recording everything. And so you can use it year after year. You could just put the dates in, what the crop did, and it's a fun little book. I think probably I paid, I don't know, $17 or something for it. But I thought maybe it was better than my Spiral notebooks. And so I thought I would try this year. And I actually have started writing some things in here, but it has like a grid so that you can draw up your gardens. Now, maybe I'm a little obsessive with my gardens because have I used graph paper before? Yes. But anymore, this is what I use. Oh, that's upside down. And so I write everything where everything is. If I'm adding things, I do that. And then I have this huge clipboard, and that's what this stays on. I just rolled it up so it was easy to show you guys. Christy says, there's a guy up here in Southwest Tennessee, grows bananas outside, says he learned the microclimates on his property. So true. Like because I always have bananas every year here. You know, I usually buy them in the springtime and then I give them away. Though this year I'm keeping mine because it has little babies. And so I want to see if I can keep it long enough to have my bananas. But there are certain microclimates on my property, and the banana goes in one of those. It's kind of blocked from the strong winds that we have in Wyoming. It stays warm. It gets morning sun, then it doesn't have sun, and then it gets late sun. So it's not too overwhelming, but it gets enough hours of sun that it needs, but it's more protected because it's really close to the house. I got that. I should have done a link. Sorry, I should have done a link. But it's called the Vegetable Garden Planner. And I looked at a lot of them, and this had more stuff in it, more information and more charts and more ways to record your stuff. So that's why I got that one. And so I apologize because I should have had a link on that. I just don't think I did a link. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Good morning. If I missed you and you're in the chat, just say something again so I can say hi to you this morning. So you just have to decide what kind of things you're going to do, because this is the perfect time of year to do that. Now, depending on what zone you're in, you may be already growing outside. Now, a lot of the South is much colder this winter than normal. So starting your seeds inside can be a great thing. You can put them on windowsills. I like to use lights. I do have several grow lights that I can use that, in fact, I'm using them right now because I'm about to do two microgreen classes. And so I have microgreens growing all over my house. But I'm giving them away at the classes. There's just a few of them that I'm keeping for myself. So Cheryl is growing snowballs. Also, Lisa, she's in Southwest Florida and she's growing things. My friend Jack that lives in Florida, he has, even though it's going to get colder, he's just going to cover some of his stuff, he said, at night. But he's been growing all kinds of things in Florida. So depending on where you are in the country, you may be growing inside or you may be growing outside. It just depends on what you're doing. And so I have some cool weather crops that I'm actually going to take to Arizona next week. And I showed one of the little packs in my live on Wednesday night. And I grew extra ones because when the seed pack starts to get kind of old and you're questioning how much germination you're going to get to it, you might as well put a lot of seeds in each of your cells. And then, oh, just one second. Let me show it to you again. Okay, so Ginger's asking. This is her last name. Can you see that, Ginger? BYCZYNSKI. Is that long enough for you guys to write that down? Here, I'll write it in the chat. So it's Lynn. I'm going to capitalize it. BYCZYNSKI. So that's here's the author right there. And but I just liked her book. You know, I probably looked at 20, 30 different ones, because some of them you can see the different pages that are in there, or it lists in the description the different pages. I just liked hers. Oh, excellent. So Ginger's sharing that. So it makes it easy for you. And can I type the name of the book too? Yes. Vegetable gardener. Oh, I still had my caps on, but you'll get the idea. Oh, it's gardener. It's not garden. I'm typing it again. Oh my gosh. See, that's what you do when you're... Oh, and Teresa says that she has a lot of books. Ah, see, that's interesting. The planner that, see this design, her one for 2025 has a little bit different design, but it's still exactly the same book inside. I think we should give the hat away before I forget. Okay. So let me take that down, and I am going to type, so Nightbot will pick a winner. I don't pick it. The computer does. And so let's see who's going to win this fun hat, and I will mail it out to you. If I don't have your address, I'll pop up my my email, so it'll send it to you, so you can... Oh, Teresa, you are the winner. And Teresa, I do have your address. Unless it has changed. If it's the same, I will send that out to you. But isn't it fun? And it's adjustable in the back. And it's got paper in there right now. But I hope you like that. So Teresa, you're the winner. So let me write that down. Yay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So congratulations, Teresa. Now, one of the things I do when I am doing my garden planning, if I'm using big graph paper, these come in those sheets that, like, if you were at a conference and the speaker is writing stuff and they're tearing it off, you can get it in graph paper too. So that's what I use. But this is your friend. Seriously, a pencil is your friend. I can't even tell you how many times I have done my first draft in pencil, and then I want to do it bigger, so I put it in marker, and then I change my mind, or something changes, and I can't erase marker, and I can't erase pen, but the pencil is your friend. What is this? It's a number 2 pencil. It's seriously a friend. It will save you so much paper and so much time that you can just erase it and change your mind, because, you know, maybe you wanted to grow a certain type of tomato in that area. So you've got it all marked out on your plans, and then that tomato fails. If you've already put it in marker or pen, then you're scratching it out, or you're redrawing your piece of paper. So I know it sounds silly to use just to be using a pencil. That's something you should do. But for me, I have done it so many times, and it's like never again. You know, I've been gardening for, wow, 50 years. Because I even gardened when I was in high school. My dad had a garden. We used to spend summers with my grandmother, and we helped her in the gardens. Lisa is listening and working from home. How fun is that? An author told me if I ever got to writing again, to use a pencil. I think it's just true. You know, who wants all this scratching out things when you can use a pencil and just erase it? Ginger says she is a pencil girl too. I know, it's silly. Karen says that my dad is the one who taught me gardening. It was mostly my grandmother that lived on the farm. My grandmother lived in town. She did have a garden too, but not the size and scale of my grandma Reichert. And I mean, she had about a 1/4 acre. And she did have raspberries in some parts of it and strawberries in some parts that were always the same. But it was a large garden because she preserved and it was their food. My grandpa had pigs once in a while, but he did always have cows and they had chickens. And so they were very self-sufficient. I mean, they did have to go buy sugars and flours. They mostly grew alfalfa in their fields, but that fed the cows and the pigs. So theirs was pretty much a complete circle other than having to buy flour and sugar and spices. Wendy says, I learned from my grandparents and mama how to grow can make salsa, relishes, pies, jellies, jams, pickles. I learned to be self-sufficient from them. And honestly, I really think that was a way of life for even people in cities. A lot of them had chickens. They gardened. They knew farmers where they could barter and trade or purchase a lot of their stuff. Christy says, my dad was the gardener in our family and grandparents. Mama cooked what he grew, but didn't like to get her hands in the dirt. That's true with my mother too. My dad had the garden. My mother never had the gardens. She did have one brick flower bed that she would grow cannas in. She liked that, and then little flowers. But she didn't like that part, and that was okay. My dad did it. He liked it. He was raised on a farm. Cheryl says, I wish I had flat land, a lot of raised beds and containers. There are days that I wish my lot was flat too. Our property was flat. In Arizona, it's flat. But I still have raised beds. I have terraces. But I can understand Cheryl wanting some flat land. Yeah, I totally do. Christy says, my grandparents went to the store for a few things once a month. Yeah, and it was funny the things that my grandma would go to the store for. Like, especially after my grandfather died, she had animals for a little while. She always had the chickens still, but she didn't have the big animals for very long. But she would go to the store and we'd be getting this stuff, the flour. And then when we were there, she would get cereal, stuff for us. But she would get these, they had a little store in the store that we would drive to, and they would make these hot dogs, but they had natural casings on them. And she just loved those. And so we would always get those. And they would pop when you bit into them because of the casing. So like if you guys have made your own hot dogs and you've used casings, you'll know what I'm talking about. But she did love those. And I thought that was always so fun that when we would go, she always had to get those. Grandparents and dad. Yeah, but like my dad was raised on the farm. So that was part of his life. And he didn't want to live on a farm again. But he did love that gardening part of it. And so I thought that was interesting. But he always said he was never going to live on a farm. But then when they retired, their property had 3 acres. And he did have a garden, not as big as what I had thought he would have, but he was retired and he just didn't want to do as much. Me, what I would give to have a few acres. What I'd give to have 1 acre, because my property, even though I am packed with stuff, I mean, I have gardens all over the place. I have fruit trees all over the place. It's only a 1/3 acre. And so that's why I have community garden plot, a big community garden plot, so I can grow even more. Do I really need that much space? I don't know. Yeah, I do. But everybody, we're at a half hour. Teresa, I will get this mailed out to you. And start planting your garden if you haven't already. If you check out that seedtime.us, they have the free version. And it's really interesting how you can just put things in and it will do stuff. It'll bring up this calendar and it will show you things, when to start it, when to start harvesting, all kinds of stuff. And so it's interesting. And I don't get any money from that. Just if you want to check out the free part of it. Oh, Cheryl says 6 acres on a hill, mostly wooded. Melanie says, my aunt grew a garden, had some chickens. My cousins and I called them dinosaurs. When we got a jelly sandwich, I could never understand why everything came from the same looking jar. Because she did the jars. Oh, Christy says that right now I have over 8 acres, but had more growing when I was on a similar property. Yeah, because depending on your acreage, how much wooded land you have, how, the slopes of it, the valleys of it, it can be different. But everybody, I'm going to let you go. I have just a ton of things to do. I'll let you know how much snow we get. Next week, I will have a Friday morning live again. I have it already scheduled. I will be giving a hat away again. I don't know if I'll do the same one or one of my other ones. But thanks for stopping in. That was very kind of you. If you would hit the like button before you leave, I appreciate it. And if you ever want to become a member, let me type that, because I do have some members in here. Nightbot will pop that up and you can become a member. So that's that right there. So everybody, thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Be careful if you're in the snow. Stay safe and think about gardening and plan your garden this weekend. Bye, everybody. See you next time.